When it was announced that Disney was adding another movie to the Descendants franchise after 5 years, fans were skeptical that Disney would ruin their beloved movie series. But the movie came out in July, and since then, fans have not stopped talking about how good it is. If you're one of those who have seen the new movie, Descendants, The Rise of Red, you might be surprised to learn that there are hidden details you may have overlooked. Yes, there are some secrets buried in the little details of the movie you might have missed on your first watch. But don't worry, we've got you covered. In today's video, we'll be discussing some of these secrets. If you haven't seen Descendants: The Rise of Red, we must warn you that there are spoilers ahead. Let's dig into it. In Descendants: The Rise of Red, following the events of the royal wedding, Uma becomes the headmistress of Auradon Prep and opens the border to Wonderland, inviting Red, the daughter of the Queen of Hearts, to attend. The reunion quickly turns sour as the Queen recalls a traumatic prank from their school days. During the opening ceremony, as Uma welcomes everyone, the Queen unexpectedly stages a coup, using her magical deck of cards to take the attendees hostage. When Cinderella refuses to bow to her, the Queen forces Red to condemn her to treason by beheading her.
Off with her head!
Overcome with guilt, Red tries to use a magic pocket watch to go back in time and prevent the coup by stealing her mother's cards. But she is attacked by Cinderella's daughter, Chloe, and they both accidentally travel back in time to when Auradon Prep was Merlin Academy. They work together to prevent a prank that turns the Queen of Hearts evil. They hide the sorcerer's cookbook Iolana, Ursula's younger sister, was going to use to prank Ella and turn her evil. After returning to the present, they find that their actions have altered the timeline, leading to a seemingly happier ending. The Queen is now wearing a lighter gown and creating heart-shaped bubbles for the celebration. However, Uma warns that there may be dangerous consequences for tampering with time. In order to prevent the coup, Red and Chloe time travel. The plan was to go back a few minutes and prevent the coup, but by mistake, they're thrown back to the time when their parents were teenagers. But let's go back a bit to when Red is given the magical pocket watch. This watch is not a regular one. It's the White Rabbit's pocket watch, created and given to Red by Mad Hatter's son, Maddox, who happens to be Red's friend and tutor. Before he hands it over, he warns, when you alter the fabric of time, there can be unpredictable consequences. If that's not foreshadowing, tell me what is. We all know about the butterfly effect. A small change can have a very complicated effect on something grand. So what Chloe and Red did by going to the past and hiding that cookbook is definitely gonna have some consequences, and Uma even confirms it at the end of the movie when she says that messing with time can have consequences. Now we have to wait for what these consequences will be. Uma's speech not only hints at the repercussions of Chloe and Red's actions, but also suggests that another movie is on the way. I mean, how else are we gonna see the consequences play out? You may have missed it, but that little speech at the end was definitely Disney's way of reassuring fans that the franchise is getting another movie. When Chloe and Red return to the present, the opening ceremony is ongoing and the Queen of Hearts is giving a speech. She's all bubbly now and is even creating a series of heart bubbles. To crown it all, her dress is a shade of pink, similar to the color she wore when she was younger and nice. So Red is convinced her mother is now nice and the time travel worked. Well, not so fast, Red. The Queen is not fully clothed in pink like her younger self. There are still streaks of red in her attire. In fact, her hair is still very, very red. This could mean that the Queen is not as nice as when she was younger. She's probably now half good and half evil. We'll see how it plays out in the next movie. One other thing we noticed in that the final scene is that the look on Cinderella and Chloe's faces right before they hug? What if by changing the fabric of time, Cinderella becomes the villain? Or even Chloe? Honestly, anything could have been altered, and we can't wait to see what it is. You could also call this an open secret because it was clear for all to see. It's important for everyone involved in making The Descendants, The Rise of Red, to honor the legacy of former cast member Cameron Boyce, who died a month before the premiere of Descendants 3. So in Descendants, The Rise of Red, they did this in a scene in the principal's office with Uma and Fairy Godmother. With tears in her eyes, China Anne McClain, who plays Uma, shares that offering a second chance to another misunderstood villain's child, Red, is exactly what Carlos, Cameron Boyce, would have wanted. As she says this, she stares at a portrait of her late friend. This moment was so emotional for the cast and crew, as it was for every Descendant fan. They couldn't have given a better tribute. It was truly perfect. You know, they never showed us that prank, right? The plot of Descendants: The Rise of Red centers around a so-called prank that turns Bridget into an evil queen. But this prank was only talked about and never shown. What if the prank never happened, or the prank had nothing to do with the cookbook? The book freezes Yelena and her gang when they open it, so it's possible Yelena isn't responsible for the prank. What if Ella pulled the prank, and that explains the queen's animosity towards her? Phew, that was just too many questions. Disney does have a lot of explaining to do in the next movie. We hope today's video has given you some clarity about some things, at least. Let us know in the comments if you've noticed any additional details in Descendants: The Rise of Red that we haven't discussed. We're looking forward to reading them.